don't think you need to be that loud.
Welcome to our first podcast.
Yeah.
My name is Felicity Hoffman, and you're Becky from
Full
Full House, right?
Arrested? Yeah. Oh my god.
That's insane. Who pays that much money to get into college like that? Like,
especially your dumb kid.
right? Who doesn't even want to attend school?
Yeah.
Like, that's bullshit.
No,
I'm sorry.
That's fucked up. So don't send your dumb kids to college, I guess is what we're saying.
Don't send your dumb YouTube kids to college.
Right.
Becky from Full House, her daughter is a YouTuber.
Seriously? Then
Yeah.
she should just do that. Why?
No, and she was complaining about how much she hates school. She doesn't know how long she'll be there. And her parents paid like $500,000 for her to get into that school.
Oh, yeah, I did hear that. It like bribed a bunch of people. Did
Right.
they like doctor photos?
Probably.
I think they pretended like she was in water polo.
Yes! How crazy is that? Like, how crazy would that be to just go back to your college like friends and or like your high school friends and, oh yeah, I was in water polo, and be like, no bitch.
What happens if they put her on a team and she like can't swim or something?
She just drowns.
No, like, why would you force your kids to go to college? Just let them do whatever. You don't pay $500,000 to get them into. Was it an Ivy League or was it?
Wasn't it like
Ivy
USC?
Was it? Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't know. I could be
that's-
wrong, but
That's insane. That's more than it costs to go there.
right.
Yeah.
Why would you ever pay that much money? It's not even that hard to get into like Harvard.
No.
Sorry, it's not $500,000 unless your kid is just stupid.
Oh yeah. And if you don't know if you want to go to school, but kind of thinking about it, community college. Nothing wrong with
Exactly.
that. That's what I did. It was great.
Right. Moral of the story.
Become YouTubers.
Yeah, or start a podcast like us. Anyways, so welcome to Dry Ink. What an intro.
No, that was great. It was very, in the moment. I feel like so.
I feel like I have like a podcast voice on right now.
You do. I do too.
It's freaking
like,
me
the
out.
second we turned it on, we were both like, hello.
Hello. Welcome to our podcast.
I just hope to God we're actually recording right now. The screen is lit up.
That's a good sign.
That's a good sign.
That's a really good sign.
And the little bars are going up and down like we're
saying stuff. We get into like some juicy, gritty details, and it's just
yeah.
like nothing.
Anyways,
Oh.
so welcome to Dry Ink again. My name is Jessica.
Why are you saying your last name?
Oh fuck! Can you edit that out?
No.
Fuck. Okay.
I mean, I can, but am I going to?
maybe you can bleep it. Like it's a really
Yes.
unsavory last name. Like Cockburn or something. No offense to anyone named Cockburn, but oh my
Yeah,
god.
so we live in Utah.
It's very beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Except
That's
it
what
fucking
everyone
keeps
says.
snowing.
Yeah, it keeps snowing. It's March and it's freezing.
I drove through Beaver on my way to Las Vegas a couple weeks ago, and there's this one gas station, and they just have this huge banner, and it just says, "I love Beaver. I love Beaver.
I love Beaver.
What is Utah?
Mountains, big other things.
Mm.
One of the leading places for cosmetic surgeries.
It is. I think it's like even more so than LA.
Yeah, I think we beat them. At least in boob jobs. I don't know about nose or the others.
Or like
Yeah.
Botox.
Oh, we're pretty big in Botox.
Are we?
Mm-hmm.
I had an aunt. I won't say her name.
I also have an aunt.
Oh my god, we both have aunts.
Who does Botox?
Oh my god. But like, I'm not opposed to any like maintenance or anything. Like, if you want a little Botox in your face, cool. Just be aware that
Right.
like,
Just know that people know.
yeah. Welcome to Utah.
Yes,
My name is
that's
Sydney,
it.
by the way. I'm smart enough to not say my last name, but like it's
look
cool.
at you.
Whatever. So, what is the title of the first book that we're going to be reading? Or that you have read and I will be drunk reviewing.
I am glad you asked. I brought for you today A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. So, Sarah J. Maas, if you don't know, she's a very popular, very successful new adult author. So she
Okay.
writes more for like I think a lot is like 17 to 19 or something. So kind of older teenagers, but obviously people older than that read it. It's a lot more grown up, a lot more violence,
Oh,
a lot of
grown up.
sex.
Good. That's
Seems
how I
to be
like
the
my young
trend.
adult novels.
New adult.
Mm-hmm. New adult.
That's why she can
new
do it.
adult.
New adults. Yeah, there's not a section for it, but they're in with the other YA books.
She's like,
technically I'm allowed to talk about sex in a very graphic manner.
Yep.
and you're like, all right.
And so she does.
Oh my god.
Great success, actually.
Can I review the like cover?
Yes.
Is that
Oh
what
yeah.
Okay. First of all, the dress.
It's pretty stunning, I guess.
It's very feathery,
It's a lot
but
of
also kind of
feathers.
hairy. There are those like tentacles coming out of her shoulder.
I don't think it's tentacles. I think. What are you? Hold on.
They kind of look
I
like
wanna
short little
say-
black tentacles, and I'm not quite
I
sure.
think they are supposed to be feathers.
Okay, but I love the plunging neckline.
Lots of plunge.
Can't say that I love the title font.
Harsh words.
Just because they have all the like minor words, like A is in the letter O, of is in the letter O of Thorns. Like that's a little it's a little disorienting to read a little bit.
That's true. It looks kind of like Court Thorns roses.
And of and. A of and, excuse me. Like
Well, don't you hate when they have signs like that?
yes.
What was the thing you told me the other day? You hate something with signs.
I hate a lot of
Something
words
that's
specific.
like in vogue with signs right now. Everyone
Oh.
has arrows.
Oh my god, there's a local business that actually went out of business because of their logo, I'm sure. Just kidding. I don't know. I feel like even people who aren't graphic designers or like artistically inclined, they see a logo like that and they're like, that's garbage. Did they just design that like in MS Paint?
Adobe.
Hey, Adobe's what I use.
Oh, sorry.
We're literally using it right
That's all I
now.
can think of.
No, like Microsoft Paint, like that we used in like
Oh,
elementary
yeah,
school.
yeah.
Like it literally looks like they did that and they like sent it to a printer and they're like, this is what I want my logo to be.
Well, they may have.
Honestly, it's so bad sometimes. Like it's just not even notice it. Like they just
No,
let
it's
it
true.
slip by.
Yeah, there's a couple of streets around Salt Lake where they have signs for businesses, and I didn't realize there were signs for businesses.
Yeah.
No idea.
Like, is it a little tea shop or is it
An
I'll buy and
MLM.
sell any house?
You'll make $100K a year if you
Exactly,
help me out with my real
exactly.
estate business.
Oh, I hate that. Oh my god, what a joke. So, A Court of Thorns and Roses.
So, okay. So, as a layperson, I think the cover's pretty cool, kind of dark,
Yeah.
little. It's
Red and
obviously
black.
very fantasy. Now I see the font though, and that's gonna bother me.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Okay, so A Court of Thorns and Roses is the first book in the series. I meant to Google this, but I think there's 4 books total right now.
Okay.
I read the first 3, and I do say they get freaking long. This one is probably like 400. And the other to like 700 or 800.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know what happened, but she
Went
just
off the
wrote
rails. She got paid
hell
per
out of these
word.
things.
That's what
maybe,
happened.
maybe. Kind of like Victor Hugo type stuff.
God.
Okay, so this is from New Adult, so it has more adult themes.
Good.
But I think you'll find it follows kind of the same YA trends, so,
Okay.
which isn't necessarily bad. I don't know, so for some background, Sydney may not read a lot now, but she definitely read a lot in high school.
Oh, so much.
Both of us are big fans of Twilight initially.
Okay, well, let's back up. We're gonna get crucified on the internet if we
Oh,
say
fuck,
we're
that's true.
a fan of Twilight.
Used to be. I liked the first one still okay.
Listen, we were like 11 when we first read it, so hear us out.
We were absolutely the demographic that Twilight
Yeah.
was supposed to appeal to.
Which is kind of fucked up a little bit.
a little.
Because it's about like some older guy. How old was he? Like 112 years old or something?
117.
Oh,
Remember,
excuse
because he's
me.
17.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He got
He's
turned 100 years ago.
What a coincidence.
Yeah. Because math is hard.
Right. So it's like, it's about an older man seducing a younger woman. Like, he like literally watches her sleep. But I was like,
Yes.
I wish that was my life.
Not my biggest problem, but one of my biggest problems with Twilight is, like, it's not a real vampire book, honestly.
No.
Vampire is, like, I don't know, like, smoke coffins and blood drinking. And in here, they sparkled and they drove Audis, right? You drove an Audi?
I have
No,
idea.
it wasn't an
Mercedes-Benz, BMWs, I have no
don't know.
idea.
It was a car that I think Stephanie Meyer thought was really cool.
Probably.
It wasn't that cool.
Probably.
But yeah, it just is not a vampire book for me. I mean, the werewolves are a bit more werewolfy, but even then, like, not really.
That was the only thing I really liked about the books, like, looking back as an adult, was the, like, Native American, like, influence. Like,
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of a cool...
It was cool, but, like,
But
I also don't know a
still-
lot about the Native American, like, beliefs in that area, like
Yeah.
werewolves. I don't know how
How
well she
accurate.
did it, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know what people who know more about that would say.
Right.
You know? Like, a
They're like,
12-year-old
this
me
is,
was
this
like...
is messed up. Like, yeah, no, I have no idea. I'm sorry if we're offending anybody.
12-year-old me was like, oh, cool, Jacob, he's hot.
Right.
I like dogs.
Right, honestly. I remember I hated the love triangle in it. It was so... Anyways, it was so
Yes.
clear what was going to happen.
Anyways, Twilight.
Blood
garbage,
drinking.
But can't even watch the movies without,
the
like,
movies are
gagging.
really
Like,
bad.
they're terrible.
I recently reread their first book a little, and, like, it's not a great book, but it's, like, readable. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
It's when she kept going that I think it really dragged out.
Oh my god. Especially, like, the very last book was just, like...
Oh my god, with the baby and the...
And then, like, her
Imprinting.
love interest fell in love with her daughter? That's so fucked up.
Do you know that Renesmee is one of the most popular baby girl names right now? Or, like,
Really?
was at the time? Yeah. There are a
Ugh.
lot of Renesmees.
That's a terrible name.
know,
That's
I don't know why
so
she did
bad.
that.
Could you have been
Oh my
like,
God.
her name is Emily, or
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know, like a Elizabeth, or like a nicer, older fashioned name.
Or even do, like, because I remember she wanted to combine, I think it was her mom and Edward's mom.
Edward's quote unquote
Right.
mom.
The fake mom that was younger than him, however that works.
Yeah.
But, like, do Renee first name, Esme middle name. That's so much
Right.
less horrible.
Right.
Anyways, you want better vampire books, try Interview with the Vampires by Anne
Yes.
Rice. That
Or
is
even
one of my
like
favorites.
True Blood.
Oh, hell yeah, True Blood.
They have accurate vampires. Like
Yes.
they get staked and they die. They go into the sun and they die. It's so much better.
If you like anime, Vampire Night,
Mm.
the manga or the TV show.
It's back to what is it?
Court of Thorns and Roses.
Court of Thorns and Roses.
Court.
That's also a long title.
It is, and it's a trend. The next one's called A Court of Mist and Fury.
Okay,
And
that one's a little bit
next-
better.
Right, and the next one's A Court of Wings and Ruin.
Oh.
And then I think it's A Court of Frost and Starlight. Alright, so our heroine is named Feyre Archeron?
Farah?
Feyre.
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 Feyre?
F-E-Y-R-E. Feyre.
Farah.
I think that's how you
Alright.
pronounce it. And
What's the like setting?
the setting. Okay, so Feyre lives in this like tiny village. She lives on the outskirts with her family, and they're living completely broke. Basically, they have no money.
Okay.
And to the north of them is this mysterious, I think she calls it a barrier, but it's a barrier between their world and the fairylands. And no one has really been to the fairylands and survived in like hundreds of years. Humans used to be basically slaves to the fairies until they rebelled, and there's this big war and they won their freedom. And now fairies kind of live on their own to the north, and humans live in the south.
Okay.
So that's kind of our setting. And so she...
So like humans are like the sub race to the fairies, like
Yeah.
fairy. Okay.
Yeah. And so she is living with her father and her two sisters, and she provides for them. She goes out and hunts every day
Okay.
and brings home food. Her father, they used to be very wealthy, and then they lost their fortune because a bunch of their merchant ships sank. And
I hate when that
so
happens.
It really freaking sucks. Yeah. That's how I was supposed to pay off my student loans.
Your merchant
My
ships.
merchant ships. So Feyre is hunting for her
Feyre.
family, and so she goes out in the forest and she sees this wolf, and she realizes it's a fairy in disguise, and she kills it.
Oh shit.
Right. Yep.
That's not good.
Nope. And then she skins it, and they take the meat. Yeah.
He didn't like change back into like
No, he's still
a
a
fairy.
wolf
Alright.
when he's dead.
Alright.
But then I think they do eat the meat.
That's kind of fucked up.
It's a little fucked up. I thought it was kind of fucked up.
Hey, but this is a new adult
It is.
series.
You couldn't do this in a young adult.
No.
A new adult.
'Cause
Yeah.
kids would freak out. Teenage girls would freak out. Do teenage guys read this?
Maybe not.
And not to be
this
like
one. They must. I think they do. But
in high school, I never like had a guy friend who was like, "Oh yeah, I love Game of Thrones."
well, everyone. Yeah, they do love Game of Thrones. Everyone.
I mean, they like Game of Thrones, but like they were never like reading actual like young adult novels or new adult novels. Like I only had one guy friend who ever admitted to reading Twilight, and it was because he wanted to like pick up girls and see like why they were so interested in this book.
I
It's
have
like
a couple guy friends that would read Twilight. I don't know. More read Hunger Games. Like
Yeah,
most people read Hunger
yeah.
Games.
yeah.
I don't know. We might do this book in the future, but I'll say this now. I did have my boyfriend read Divergent when we first started dating.
Oh
Because I loved it. And I was like, oh, here.
Oh
like,
no, I'm thinking of Matched. I liked
Okay.
Divergent. Oh,
Matched.
Oh.
That was not good. But I loaned it to him because I thought, like, that one's, it's got a lot of action in it.
Mhm.
Like, there's some kind of, like, pretty cool, like, male characters. Like, he'll like this.
Yeah.
And, like, the main girl I thought wasn't super, like, I don't know, Mary Sue. She, like, fought. So I thought I'd be into it. And he came back and he handed it to me and he's like, this is the worst book I've ever read. And I remember being so hurt, like so offended, and then I went back and reread it and I was like, oh my god, he's right.
I feel like a lot of young adult novels are like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I think they're more marketed towards young women.
I think that's the trend. It might be changing a bit now. I think I've seen
hope
more
so.
books that are more geared toward both genders or all genders. But for a while, especially after the Twilight craze,
The Twilight
it was definitely like the focus was on romance. I know a few books that show it from a male perspective. I know Beautiful Creatures did.
Right.
I can't really think of that many others. Like Vampire Academy, I think was a girl perspective, but that one did have a bit more like is a little less heavy on the romance. From what I heard, I haven't read it, so.
Anyways, so this Feyre,
I think it's Feyre.
her family eating this fairy wolf is kind of like cool. I dig it. It's a little graphic.
It's violent, which I think Sarah J. Maas is kind of known for. She kind of just goes for it. So she realizes it's a fairy before she kills it, and part of why she still kills it is she really resents fairies for how they subjugated humans for so long.
Fair enough.
Which is fair, but I didn't really buy it. Like, her character, like, that happened hundreds of years ago.
Oh,
Like,
so it didn't like directly.
No, it
affect
didn't
her?
seem to directly impact her, at least what I got. And she, I feel like, had so many more horrible things in her life that would probably take precedent. But, like, in this moment, how it's written is, like, she wants to get back at fairies. So,
Yeah.
so she kills it. And so, in my notes, I wrote that night or 2 nights later, so I'm not sure. A giant hairy beast breaks into her family's shack. I wrote shack. It's like a little hut. Little hut.
Big hairy beast.
But like a literal, like, half monstrous thing.
Okay.
Breaks in, and he tells her that because she killed a fairy, the treaty between fairy and human realms requires a life for a life.
Okay.
Thoughts?
I mean, did she know she was killing a fairy when she killed it, or
She
did she
did.
know afterwards?
She knew when she was killing.
I mean, that's bad.
Right.
I mean, by today's standards, that's really bad.
Like, kind of, yeah.
Someone murdered someone because they were, I don't know, pink hair.
Sure.
That's not a race. I just didn't want to get racial, but you know.
Or if you know that this creature is like sentient and like an
Right.
actual being is like premeditation.
Right. Like, that's bad. So,
Right.
yeah, take this girl away.
So that's what he says. Like, this requires a life for a life.
Okay,
And
fair
basically, he explains any unprovoked attacks on fairy kind by humans are to be paid only by a human life in exchange.
Okay.
So I thought he was going to try to kill her.
Yeah.
But apparently there's a loophole where Corinthian, which is the fairy realm,
Uh-huh.
can claim a fairy's life in a different way. Like, he can either, he says, gut her like swine, which is super
Sexy.
or she can cross the barrier with him and live out the remainder of her days in the fairy world.
I mean,
Yeah.
what would you pick?
Go
Like,
with the beast, right?
Who's gonna be like, no, kill me.
Kill
Like,
me right now. In
okay.
front of her family. Like, her family's still in there.
Right.
Slaughter me like a pig.
Daddy.
Yeah. Obviously, she's gonna choose to go to the fairy world. Like, I didn't really
Yeah.
get... maybe that
Why
was what
they-
she was going for. Was
yeah.
like, there is no choice. Obviously, she's gonna go with him.
Why would they even give her the choice? Like,
I don't know.
come on.
I also don't get how that is, like, part of the, like, treaty. Like, she
Right.
just murdered this fairy.
Right. Like, this girl just killed one of their kind.
Yeah.
And they're like, but you can come live
But
with
you
us.
can live with them. Not like, we're gonna strand you in the
Right.
fairy
We're
world.
gonna
like,
banish you into an isle that no one ever goes to.
right,
You're
like, she
gonna
goes
suffer.
to live with him.
Right, that's weird.
Yeah.
That's a little silly. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, but stranger things have happened in the real world. So,
Is that what you're gonna go with every time?
yeah.
Stranger things have happened.
You never know.
Okay, so my next note is the beast has vast tracts of land.
Of course he does.
So
What is this, Beauty and the Beast? Like, what's Oh, is this like a
She figured it out.
Oh.
It's a dark, let's see how they phrase it. I don't know if they put it in the synopsis, but it's basically like a dark retelling of Beauty and the Beast. So.
I need like a bell every time I get it, like a dog. Like,
Yay!
yay!
Figured it out.
The dummy got it! The drunk girl figured out the plot of the book. Oh my
Not
god.
the whole. I would give you $1 million if you guessed the rest of the plot right now.
I can't even. I don't even know where we're headed. Like, if it's not Beauty and the Beast.
He does live in like this like castle basically, like this big
Is he a
manor.
prince?
Like kind of.
Do all the fairies look like animals?
So hold up. Okay.
Because that's sending me mixed signals. And I don't know how I feel about that.
Oh, if she had gone into that, I may have given her more props. That's pretty bold.
We're talking about bestiality, children. Anyways.
We should have like above 18 on the podcast.
We will.
So she, I think she spends like the night in the castle
Mhm.
after the beast brings her there. And she gets up the next morning and she goes to the dining room to eat and sees two super hot guys.
Oh, so super hot.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of them has the same eyes as the beast.
Oh.
Except they both have little masquerade masks on their face.
Of course they do. Of course.
So you don't know if they're really hot or not.
Because this much of
'Cause
their
of the
face
little-
is covered.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I can't see your under eye bags or your eyebrows,
Your
so
nose
you
could
must
be a little big.
It could be a little fucked up, but you know.
But the rest of them is like super hot. Like
Mm.
amazing hair, gorgeous body.
Chiseled
tall.
jaw.
Oh, everything's chiseled.
Oh, everything's
Everything's
Why is
chiseled.
everything always chiseled? Why do they want? Why do people like? Why do authors assume that we just want everything to be chiseled?
Because I have no idea.
Like, I don't know. Maybe that goes back onto the basis of like what like humans find attractive, but like that sounds uncomfortable to me.
What hurt?
His pecs are chiseled. His arms are chiseled.
Your nose
His
is chiseled.
His nose is chiseled. Like, It doesn't sound like that. Sounds like uncomfortable
It's a
to
lot
me.
of pointy edges.
Yeah. No offense to anyone who's very chiseled. Like, good for you, I guess. But
Like, you keep going with that.
you get it. Anyways, so his face is covered.
Right. Face are covered. Just don't know if they're really hot or not, but they look really hot. And so she finds out that they're what's called a high fae. So they look kind of like humans, except extremely beautiful.
So they're like
Powerful.
royalty.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're extremely attractive and
Duh.
powerful.
They have to be.
Right. And the other guy there, okay, so she finds out the beast's name is Tamlin.
Mm-hmm.
And the other guy is his right-hand man named Lucian.
Of course it is.
Lucian.
Hamlin?
Tamlin.
Tamlin. I don't know. Tamlin and Lucian.
Lucian. Lucian and Tamlin with little masks on. Little cute little masks.
Adorable.
Just
But
so
that hides
sweet.
their attractiveness.
I mean, one of their noses could be crooked, and then what
They're
good
just
are they?
they're just like perfect human beings, except for like right by their
But they have
eyes.
one zit, and that's why they're wearing them.
Oh, hideous! Okay.
What you doing, Tamlin? Oh, nothing.
I have a really big zit.
Alright.
Right. So Tamlin is like pretty mean and beast-like to Farah. What? But Lucian is, I think, somewhat nice to her, so they'll talk back and forth. He'll kind of like explain what's happening a little.
Mm-hmm.
But while she's staying there, she gets kind of depressed because she made a promise to her mother when her mother was dying that she would take care of the family, and she feels like she's breaking that promise by being with the fairies while her family's off on their own.
It kind of reminds me of like Hades and Persephone a little bit. Like a lot of like young adult literature is like a man taking some girl away from her like familiar home and family into his world, and then like her like, you know, obviously doing the hero's adventure or whatever.
Right. Yeah, I see that. I know some that actually do. They call themselves retellings of Hades and Persephone.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's a very popular one. I don't
It is.
know why. Like, I like the original story, but it is interesting that so many people like to tell it.
Right.
And it's usually like an older man, very powerful,
Mm-hmm.
to like a younger woman.
Right. I wish I wish we had more like young adult novels where like the power was placed more on like the women,
Right.
as opposed to like this man whisked me away and now I'm in this magical world and
And like in this one, especially like Feyre, like she's a good hunter, but she doesn't have any like powers.
right, and they do that to women, like they're like, oh, okay, so you have this one skill that you're great at, but then like you're basically useless unless you're
Right.
using this one skill.
Right, unless you are shooting your bow, you are at the other guy's
Why
mercy.
is shooting a bow such a big young adult trope? Like, I took archery lessons because of the Hunger Games.
I don't know. I know in her other series, her main character is like an assassin. And
Oh.
she's actually proficient in like almost everything.
See, that's what I liked about like Graceling.
Oh yeah,
Was
that's
that
a
like
good one.
she was like, I'll fuck your shit up. Like,
yeah.
I'm good at everything and I'll fuck you up. Like,
And like her and Poe, yeah, that's his name. It's Poe.
yeah, no, Poe. That's
That's
a
me
bad
driving me
name.
crazy. But they did have like different strengths, and it wasn't just
Yeah.
like she had the one like she could shoot a bow. Like she could do almost anything,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. No. She, like, that's one of my favorite, or that was one of my favorite young adult novels, like, growing up because of that, because she was just, like, so self-sufficient. She didn't need, like, to be whisked away and, like, have her value tested, or, like...
Yeah, and that's like kind of like whisking away part of a lot of story structures.
Right, because it's, like, the hero's journey. Like, something
Right.
has to change from
In
the
the first
ordinary.
act, you're kind of like finding out who the character is and like
Mhm.
what their strengths are.
Mhm.
But I feel like other books do that in a way where it's not like the big man dude whisking away the woman. Like look
Right.
at Harry Potter. Like Harry Potter's introduced to the Wizarding World by Hagrid.
Right.
Like no sexual tension that I know
No!
of. Just Harry and Hagrid.
Just a big hairy man
yeah.
taking a child
away from his family.
Oh, just ruined Harry Potter. But yeah, like, even there though, like, there's so many strong female leads though, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wish, you know, they weren't just...
I wish, you know, a little stronger, more center of the story.
Right,
I mean,
right.
you have Hermione, but...
Right. But, like, I don't know, like, Ginny could have been
Ginny
so much
was
better.
Weasley, Tonks. She had a lot of... I feel like she could have done more of that.
She could have done more.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't know. It's still a great
Still a great
series.
Still a great series.
Fantastic, amazing.
But look at the Hunger Games. I mean, Katniss isn't introduced to the other world by, like, Gale or Peter. Like, one, she volunteers to go into that world.
Right, it's like a societal, like, change. You know,
Right.
it's not like some guy pulling her into his world because of some, you know, arbitrary decision.
Some treaty.
Right.
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 And then you see it through her eyes, not kind of filtered through his eyes, which is what you get in
Yeah.
here. You kind of, Tamlin and Lucian explain the world to Feyre.
Mm-hmm.
She goes out and discovers a little bit by herself, but for the most part, it's kind of just explained to her, which is also kind of boring. Lots of exposition.
Right. Like, why can't she figure this out on her own? Like, why can't she, like, be more of an active character? The Twilight series, like, Bella, who is the main character, is such a passive character.
Right.
Like, she's just existing in this world, and all these other things are happening around her, and she's just, like, going along with it. I want, like, a more active character who's, like, I'm gonna do this, this is my life, like, I'm gonna be more proactive.
Yeah, having a character-driven plot
Exactly.
versus a plot that pulls your character along.
Exactly.
Which is definitely what we have here. Like, I couldn't figure out if Moss was, like, trying to stick too much to the Beauty and the Beast story. So she had this character that was, like, you know, so good at hunting and weapons, just being so passive for most of the story. Like, Belle in Beauty and the Beast, like, she's a bookworm. Like, she
Right.
doesn't have any fighting skills, and that's part of why you believe why she kind of stays. She's also trying to protect her father, and then when she does escape, she runs away on a horse and gets attacked by wolves and can't help herself really because she doesn't know how to fight. But,
Right.
like, Feyre, like, it's kind of built up that she's this really great fighter, and she just kind of stays with Tamlin. Like, I guess she can't go back to her family because then, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, I guess she might be killed, I think, but I feel like there are other ways you could do it because she does seem to be kind of pulled along by Tamlin.
Yeah.
So she also really likes to paint. She never got a chance to when she was hunting.
Of course she does.
Right. So she starts painting a lot, and she finds out from I think it's Lucian that the fairylands are dying from a mysterious blight, which is causing like demon-like creatures to spring up.
Okay.
So there's that kind of going on in the background while she's like painting.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, like the middle of this book was so boring. It took me so long to read it.
Well, tell me how you really feel.
It was so boring. It just like you said, that was kind of part of it. Is like she was being pulled along. She wasn't doing anything.
Right.
She was like painting, and then she would find out a little bit information from Lucian, and
She was like painting.
so boring. And she was slowly finding out like, oh, Tamlin's not just a beast. He's like nice sometimes. And she finds out from Lucian that there's these seer-like fairies called the Surreal. And so she goes out and she catches one of them and gets them to tell her a bunch of stuff. So she finds out that Tamlin is one of the 7 high fairy lords that rules the land. So he's not a prince, but he's a high lord
Right.
of the summer court? Spring court. He's spring court. High lord of the spring court. And, she finds out that there's this, like, the person causing the blight is called the Deceiver. Like, there's this
So he's
person.
like the overarching
Or
like
she,
bad guy.
or she.
they.
Don't assume.
They could be gender fluid. I don't know.
But yeah, there's a source to this.
Okay.
And then she gets attacked by these fairies, like these water fairies called Naga. And Tamlin shows up in beast form and saves her.
Of course he does.
So I think that was supposed to be like
Like
when,
the wolves.
Yeah.
When the wolves attack Belle.
Yeah. When Belle runs away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and just like Beauty and the Beast, Tamlin and Feyre start bonding after the attack. Oh, sorry. This is when he gives her a place in the castle to paint.
Oh.
Much like a library.
Here, have this creative outlet since you're my prisoner.
Yeah. Oh, I think he tells her, like,
You can leave, but you can die.
because there are all these horrible fairies.
Okay.
And so she's like, alright, I'll paint. And so she paints.
I would love to see a book where, like, she's like, okay, bitch, I'll fucking leave.
Yeah, and
she
become, like-
leaves and then, like, becomes, like, a fairy-killing warrior.
Hell
like,
yeah.
how cool would that be?
That would be great. That's not what happens.
Damn it.
So, okay. This part. Oh my god, this part. Okay. So, after they, like, bonded, he gave her a place to paint, like, things are kind of heating up between them.
Mm-hmm.
And one night, Tamlin tells Feyre to stay in the manor because he is taking part in a fairy ritual called the Great Rite.
Alright.
So she leaves the manor anyway. She gets cornered by some fairies who plan on raping her.
Why is there always, like, some type of, like, sexual assault, like, that almost happens?
Because
Why?
then she can get saved by someone who doesn't want to sexually assault her.
It just makes the, like, female character so much more vulnerable, like, than she was to begin with.
Yeah.
It's like in Daughter of Smoke and Bone, or what's the second one?
Something
Fire?
Starlight.
Or-
Golden Starlight?
I mean, I don't know.
The second one.
Where she, like, almost gets sexually assaulted
Oh,
by that, like,
right.
half wolf man.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah,
Why?
I don't know.
But
Like,
it-
they always get saved by a specific person.
Right, exactly.
And
At least in, like, the Daughter of Smoke and Bone series, I think she, like, fights off her offender.
I think she does. I think she kills him.
Yeah. So, like, why can't we have more of that? Like, why can't the female protagonist take care of her own...
You're gonna hate this next bit.
Oh, God.
Alright, so
Okay,
these
let's go.
fairies want to rape her.
Of course they do. Yep.
But she's saved by the most beautiful man she's ever seen.
Of course.
Not Tamlin,
Oh.
a different fairy.
Oh.
Most beautiful man she's ever seen. Or creature, she says creature.
Okay.
And then Lucian finds her and takes her back to the manor. So then Lucian explains that the Great Rite marks the beginning of spring and that Tamlin has to undergo the ritual to regenerate his magic. And what he has to do is kill a white stag as an offering, then go to a sacred cave where there will be a line of fairy maidens waiting. He will then be drawn magically to one of the fairies who will be named the Maiden and couple with her to complete the ritual.
Is she gonna be the maiden?
Not quite, but kind of.
Hold on. I need to open another beer. Hold
Yes, please do.
That was a
'Cause
lot
I think
less.
there's some quotes coming
Oh, God.
because I knew you would hate.
Couple with the maiden.
So that night she goes downstairs and she runs into Tamlin, who she describes as being still high from the magic. Yeah, apparently magic makes you high. So he tells her that he had smelled her during the rite and it had driven him crazy, but he was forced to choose another. And I'm going to read. This is from page 196 of A Court of Thorns and Roses. He says, "You drove me mad," he growled, and the sound trembled down my neck along my breasts until they ached. "I searched for you and you weren't there. When I didn't find you, it made me pick another. She asked me not to be gentle with her." He snarled, his teeth bright in the moonlight. "I would have been gentle with you, though. I would have..." Oh, there's other stuff. Okay, that might be awkward to read. I'm gonna skip it. But this part, I don't know. Okay, so he still smiled like an animal. And then Feyre says, "Why should I want someone's leftovers?"
Yes.
But also, ew.
Listen, I get wanting to be wanted, you know? Like, I get how this appeals to, like, young women.
Yeah.
That's gross.
Like, I hated a bunch of stuff in this scene. I hate how she says leftovers.
yeah.
Because he had sex with someone else.
Yeah.
But he also was, like, drawn by some magic force to have sex with someone else.
Yeah.
For this magical rite.
Yeah.
And he was looking for her. Like, what would he have done if he found her? Would she have had a choice?
Right. So is she, like, being forced to have sex with this guy?
Yeah.
Or, like...
Like, it's a different... I don't know. Even if she wanted to, like... It's just... It was such a weird setup and such a weird scene.
Like, it's, like, overly sexual for no reason.
Yeah. Like, it was... I don't know. It seemed like this really weird way to bring these characters to another level.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't like it. I feel like they were driven to it by some weird, stupid magic voodoo they couldn't control.
Yeah.
And I got so mad.
It's just... Yeah, no, that's, like... It's really frustrating. Like, you're just taking all the power away from, like, anybody. Like,
Yeah, like her and
Sexually.
him, like
oh, I didn't have a choice. The magical forces were telling me. Like,
I had to regenerate my magic, which keeps the land alive.
right. Who is this, Gaston? Like,
Yeah, like, maybe.
Ugh. Like, it I'm, like, at a loss for words.
I know. I got, like, it starts with her, like, these fairies talking about raping her.
Right. So she's like, fuck, I almost just got raped.
Yeah.
And then she's like,
And then this guy
I
was
almost
like,
had to have sex with this guy because magic almost forced me to.
right. And it's like, yeah, she's kind of liking him at this point, but this seems to, like, take away a lot of...
Choice?
Yeah.
She has
honestly.
zero choice. Yeah, no, like...
And he's described in this as, like, having zero choice as well. Like, he's high from... Not zero choice, but, like, he's high from the magic. He's being influenced by all this stuff.
Yeah.
It was just... I was not a fan of this part.
No.
Yeah.
Because then he's like, I fucked someone else.
Yeah, and then he's telling her, like, oh, yeah, slept with someone else. She wanted to, but, like, did she want to? Or was it the magic driving her
Right.
to?
Right.
Like, we never find out who this is or why.
Is this like... You know, she trying to be like, drugs?
Maybe.
Is the author trying to say, like...
It's a PDA on
This
drugs.
is like when people take ecstasy.
PDA.
Like, a PDA.
There's a lot of PDA.
Yeah, sounds like it.
But so
I
there's that.
kind of just want to read this scene, just like the entirety of it, so like I understand like.
You maybe should. It's kind of long.
I don't know if I
think it'll make you
could.
mad.
I think it would just make me very angry.
Because it make me really mad.
Cause like I think people should like have desires 100%. Like.
And like she starts this scene like when she comes downstairs and Tamlin's down there. It starts with like the Tamlin I knew was gone.
All right.
Yeah, and then he becomes super creepy, basically.
He's like, I fucked someone else.
And she's like, okay.
I wish I would have fucked you.
Don't.
She's like, oh, well, that's too bad.
I was not a fan of that.
No. Who would be? Like, who wants to be someone's second choice, first of all? I mean, not that she was technically a second choice, but like...
Right. He wanted to find her, but...
He found someone else. Like, she wasn't important enough to...
No. And Lucien, the way everyone's talking before the scene is like, you're in danger if you stay out here. Like, it's not safe for you out here.
Like, why? Because I'm gonna be sexually assaulted every day?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. And that's just... Oh, it was very uncomfortable. I don't know why this idea of fairies being, like, wild and...
I mean, like
whimsical translates in
right.
so many books to them being, like...
wild and, like, sexually uncontrollable
I
because
don't
of
get it.
whatever outside force. Like in, what's the one series with, like the redhead? She lives in the city.
Oh, City of Bones.
City of Bones.
Yeah.
Like with that, the fairies are pretty much the same. Like they're very like attractive, like sexual creatures, but then they just don't care about anything.
In a book that kind of goes after the the Fae being kind of wild, I think does this a lot better is, fuck, the first one, it's called The Wicked Prince, the first one. The second one is, The Cruel Prince and the Wicked King. It's by Holly Black, who's pretty famous for her fairy folklore stories, and I think it does it better. Like, the main girl is definitely a lot more assertive, she drives the plot a lot herself, and the relationship is definitely, I think, more of what Moss is going for, where it's kind of like they don't want to be attracted to each other, but they are. But there's also like I never felt uncomfortable like this. I felt like they both, like when stuff finally happens with them, is they both very much consented or on board, or driven by this magical force.
Right, you shouldn't feel uncomfortable when, like, two of the main characters who are supposed to, like...
Yeah, the ones I'm supposed to be, like, rooting for. And I was actually, like...
almost get together.
So I will say this. I know in the second book, she kind of flips this around.
Okay.
Like, maybe Tamlin isn't supposed to be your favorite. But I can't tell if she decided that before this book, or just wrote this book and realized how much he sucks.
Yeah.
And then changed it.
Yeah.
But either way, I'm just going off of what this book shows, and I was not a fan of Tamlin and Feyre.
Yeah, I'm not a fan either. Yeah. Like, he just seems like a very sexually driven, like
he's a beast.
Love interest.
He's beastly.
Oh, he's a beast. Okay, like...
But not in a fun way, I guess.
At some point, it crosses the line. I mean, I obviously think, like, some books should make you uncomfortable, like, for a reason. This just feels like it was just meant to, like...
It feels like you're kind of trying to capture what other books have.
Yeah.
Like, almost that forbidden romance. But I think it misses a key aspect of that. The forbidden romance isn't where consent is questionable.
Right.
It's where other parties don't want the main two characters to be together. Right. So after this, there's a party, and Tamlin and Feyre kiss after she has too much fairy wine. So fairy wine makes her very
fairy
loose.
wine will fuck you up, man.
Makes her very like calm and not calm, but like she wants like dance. She's like dancing in a circle. Like it's very much that like idea that fairies make humans kind of like lose their inhibitions and
so like literally they're just on ecstasy
basically. So people start freaking out. This actually might be a little later. But Tamlin tells Feyre to get behind Lucien when that beautiful man she met earlier turns up. And it turns out his name is Rhys from the Night Court. I think it's pronounced Rhys. It's R-H-Y-S. Rhys. Rhys sounds better.
Rhys? Yeah.
Right?
Rhys sounds stupid.
Rhys from the Night Court. So he finds her out. Yeah. So he finds her and he threatens to tell the person he serves, whose name is Amarantha.
That's my middle name.
Right?
Amarantha.
Amarantha.
It's like she ran out of like creative names and she's like, what rhymes with Samantha?
I think this definitely falls prey to what a lot of fantasy books have, where it like looks like the author just like pounded the keyboard a bit, and I was
Amarantha.
But Amarantha is...
Amarantha.
I'm gonna call her Amy. Amy is Rhys's lover. And so Rhys asks Feyre for her name, and Feyre lies and says her name is Claire. He can tell that she's lying, and he says he'll only tell Amy that her name is Claire if Tamlin begs and grovels before him. And so he does that.
So is Rhys above Tamlin?
Rhys is like the lover of Amy, and so he has a bit more power, it seems like. Like he's kind of like her messenger.
So Amarantha is like...
Yeah, Amy's like the top.
I mean, I'm glad she like... There's a girl in the position of power. Like, get it, queen?
Well, she stole it, actually.
Get it.
She subjugated all the High Lords.
Get it how you live, girl. Get it.
So after this, Tamlin thinks that Feyre isn't safe with him, so he sends her home, and when he puts her in a carriage, he says he loves her, and she doesn't say...
please!
Yeah. But I cut some stuff out of here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they did go to a meadow, and showed her some, like, magical, like, will-o-wisp spirits.
Oh, did he? He showed her some will-o-wisps.
They're very much in love.
Oh. She's eating your people!
This is friend.
But just you wait. Oh no.
So when he puts her in the carriage, says he loves her, she doesn't want to say I love you back because I think she talks about it being like that makes it real that she's leaving or something. So she doesn't say it. The servant tells her that they are being held captive by Amy in a place called Under the Mountain. And that servant tells her that the reason they are wearing the little masquerade mask, which they've been wearing the whole time, they're cursed.
Wearing the whole time?
Yeah, I can see that.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So she finds out the reason they're cursed and they can't take off the mask is that they're losing their power. And so the one that cursed them so they couldn't take the masks off is the High Queen, Amy.
Oh, Amy, god damn it.
Fucking Amy. She has taken over all of the other High Lords' lands, and they all live with her under the mountain, except for Tamlin.
I mean, girl, I applaud you for going out there and getting that coin and taking that power. It's just weird that you make other people wear masks.
It is weird, yeah. So the reason they have to wear the mask is because they were cursed during a masquerade that Amy threw with them, and so they're all supposed to wear masks with like that look like animals to honor Tamlin's shape-shifting ability, because he can become like that beast and they can become other animals.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
She's like,
Welcome to my party. Fuck you. Here's a curse.
and so Amy was in love with Tamlin, and Tamlin refused to marry her because Amy was like subjugating all the lords and taking over. Yeah.
she was a queen. She was taking over. She was getting that coin.
Yeah,
becoming a powerful woman.
She's getting the coin, and Tamlin was like, no.
Oh.
He tells Amy that he'd rather marry a human than marry her.
And she was like,
yeah, exactly. That's what the book says. And Amy was like,
what an insult. Ugh, rather marry a human.
Apparently it worked because she curses him so that he has 7 times 7 years before he would be forced to join her under the mountains 49.
I can do math. Thank you.
You were just looking at me like you were confused.
I just don't know why you said 7 times 7.
That's how they say it in here.
Why would you just say 49 years?
Because
and why 49? That's such a random number.
Agreed, but I think it's like the old time pricing, or the old time saying, like 7 and 7.
7 by 7.
7 of 7. 7 and 7. So
Okay.
7 and 7 years.
You're dramatic.
So the only way to break the curse and be able to take off the masks and not have to join her under the mountain was to find a human girl. Oh, I said that. I wrote that wrong. Was to find a human girl with ice in her veins. Ice in her heart. Ice in her heart. I wrote ice in her here.
What does that even mean? So she has a chilly disposition, and that's what qualifies her to break the curse?
Break the curse. So what he was doing was
Okay.
he was sending his men through the barrier to try to be killed by a human girl.
What a dick!
Like, and also, what the fuck kind of curse is that?
That's a stupid curse. This
That's
is a
dumber
curse.
than prick your finger on a spinning wheel.
Exactly. And that's a terrible curse.
Like, how long was she thinking of that? That's not a spur of the moment curse.
This, I know I shouldn't be saying this early in this review, but like this book
An
just,
hour and a half in.
Listen, this book I just don't think is very like, the plot just doesn't seem super thought through.
Right.
Like I feel like the author had an idea and she was like, sexy animal fairies.
Sexy animal fairies. I agree with it. And from what I've heard, and from reading the second and third books, like, this first one definitely has the weakest plot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know exactly what happened here. I did hear that she wrote this a while ago before she like started publishing books and like went back to it.
Okay.
So I'm thinking that might have something to do with it. This is when I lost all faith in this book. I thought that was the dumbest thing. Tamlin sucks.
Mm-hmm.
So Feyre goes under the mountain and gets captured.
Mm-hmm.
So she finds out Amy tortured and killed one of the girls from her village in front of everyone, including Tamlin, because Amy believed that girl was her. That was Claire, that she had told Reese. Like, she told Reese her name was Claire. And so Amy went and found Claire and tortured. And Tamlin had not said a word. He had let Amy torture and kill Claire.
Why is this a book?
So, instead of killing her outright, Amy decides to give Feyre 3 tasks to complete. Or she can break the curse on Tamlin and all the other courts right then by guessing the answer to a riddle. There are those who seek me a lifetime but never we meet, and those I kiss but who trample me beneath ungrateful feet. At times I seem to favor the clever and the fair, but I bless all those who are brave enough to dare. By and large, my ministrations are soft-handed and sweet, but scorned I become a difficult beast to defeat. For though each of my strikes lands a powerful blow, when I kill, I do it slow.
I'm gonna be honest, I zoned out for like half of that.
Yeah, you cracked open another beer.
I don't know. Cheese? Cocaine?
Yes, definitely.
They're about the same. Just kidding.
So, Feyre can't figure it out, so she gets thrown into her first task, which is a mud maze with a giant earthworm. So she kills it, she makes a trap with all the other bones that are littered around.
How does she kill it? Because like if you cut an earthworm in half, it's becomes 2 earthworms.
I didn't write a lot down with these, because it's just weird, getting really
strange.
long. Yeah. But she kills it.
Okay.
It doesn't split in half and grow another head.
At least she's using her like hunting skills.
No, this was a good moment because she really does like figure out how to like sense it. Definitely using her like hunter abilities. But afterwards, she is injured, and Reese comes and visits her cell, and he heals her in exchange for her promising to spend a week per month in his court. And when she agrees, he leaves a tattoo on her arm.
You just have to go like hang out with him? Or is it like
It's not it's mostly just hanging out is what it seems like.
okay.
So yeah,
Alright.
she's like fine.
He's like, will you be my friend?
yeah, and she's like sure.
Sure, dude.
So you don't see that in this book. So she says fine, like heal me, I'll do that. After that,
there's a but.
Reese starts drugging her each night and forcing her to dance in front of the entire court in order to make Tamlin angry.
What the fuck? Alright.
Yep. And like,
Not the worst.
I don't remember. I don't think he like makes her kiss him or anything, but like it's a little sexual dancing and she is drugged. But anyway, so they do that a bunch. And so the second trial is a pit, and she's trapped in there with Lucian. There's a riddle written down there, but Feyre can't read.
Oh shit.
I know. So she starts just pulling levers, seeing what will happen. And
No!
then the tattoo on her hand starts tingling. Like Reese is telling her which lever, and so she pulls the right one, and they get out.
Pull the lever, Kronk. Okay.
So the third trial is having Feyre kill 3 innocent fairies. So she looks the first 2 in the eye and stabs them through the heart.
Same.
And then she gets to the third one is Tamlin.
Oh no!
And she doesn't want to kill him, even though she killed the other 2. But
I would kill him.
But she remembers being told that Tamlin has a heart of stone, and they slept together a couple times at this point.
What?
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. Yeah, they slept together.
Gross.
And she doesn't remember hearing his heart beating. Without a beating heart. So she hopes that they weren't being metaphoric when they said he had a heart of stone, and so she stabs him. So it worked. But then Amy refuses to release everyone. What she actually had meant if Feyre finished the trials was that she would release all the fairies, but she never said when.
Listen, she's like the only strong female character in this entire book.
So she tells them this, and then she starts using her magic to snap each bone in Feyre's body.
What does she start with?
Oh, I think it was her. I don't remember.
Oh, that's starting off big.
She starts snapping every bone.
Okay, queen.
While Feyre's bones are being snapped, she realizes the answer to the riddle
Was love.
Gross. No. That's really stupid.
So she's like dying,
Yeah.
and so she
They have magic that makes
dies,
them... She died.
and she's like floating outside her body, as everyone who dies does, I guess. And
Thank
then
God she's dead.
the second she breaks the curse, Tamlin kills Amy, and then
No, Amy!
I know, we loved her so much. We knew her so
She's
well.
a clever bitch.
Clever bitch.
How did no one figure out that the riddle was love? Like,
They're all supposed. Okay. They're all supposed to be like immortal beings.
are they immortal idiots?
I guess so.
Because it's
Like they're supposed to have lived like hundreds, if not thousands, of years. Why not? Like, why did no one go? Oh, it's freaking love. Like what the? Like I don't remember if the riddle was for anyone to solve. At least when she told it to Feyre, why weren't any of the fairies like, oh, it's love? I'm like,
shit.
but she doesn't die. Well, she dies.
So
So
magic and bullshit.
So each of the
So this is
High
a great
Lords gives Feyre part of their power.
Mm-hmm.
So she's resurrected and becomes a High Fae. So she's immortal.
Oh, God. What's your opinion?
So I think the message is supposed to be like, love conquers all. Like, and I just hated Tamlin, and I didn't get that from the relationship. I thought it was a little abusive, a little creepy.
Yeah.
Without, I don't know, it was different to me than Beauty and the Beast. Kind of just goes a different direction and comes out worse in my mind.
Yeah.
It wasn't a favorite for me. The plot seemed to be all over the place. The middle of the book drags. It was hard to get through. That's my number one thing with the book. Like, even if I could break down the plot, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't work. If I want to turn the page, like,
Yeah.
you have my attention. I am liking it. But here, I didn't. I had to make myself finish this book. And I didn't really relate to Feyre. Tamlin
Right.
wasn't great for me.
It wasn't likable.
He wasn't likable
At all.
I thought he was kind of a douche most of the time.
Yeah.
The writing isn't bad. It's not like amazing, but it's fine. It's perfectly readable.
Yeah.
There are a couple of metaphors that really bother me. It talks about like whenever Feyre's scared, her bowels turn watery.
What?
Yeah, that's used a lot,
Ew.
even in the next two books, and that
What? It doesn't like she has like diarrhea.
I know.
Is that what that means?
Maybe. It just bothered me.
She's like, I'm nervous, I have diarrhea. Like, I mean, I kind of stand that. Like, I kind of like how she gets nervous and she gets diarrhea.
I mean, it's real, definitely. But it wasn't. It grossed me out a little. It was, the writing was perfectly readable. The characters weren't great for me. I think I ended up giving it like 3 out of 5 stars or something. Like it's fine. It has problems.
I feel like that's a generous.
Possibly.
That's a generous reading. It sounds crazy and like a little misogynistic until you get to the villain. But of course the villain is a woman, because the only woman in the book is the protagonist, who basically does nothing. It's just kind of garbage, and I'm sick of young adult, new adult.
She keeps doing air quotes like new adult.
I do. I've never heard of new adult. That's bullshit.
It's just like a distinction. You know how they like
4 beers.
Again, the higher number, the worse the review.
That is our take on A Court of Thorns and Roses.
She had to look at the cover again.
I did. Anyways, do you have any closing thoughts?
Let us know what you think. I mean, I could be completely off base. If you found something different,
Please, if you thought this book was amazing, and if I get at least like 1,000 likes, I'll read it.
let us know, or let me know if I should read Throne of Glass.
Yes. And don't forget to subscribe and follow us at Dry Ink, and
Bye.